what are the advantages and disadvantages of using AI-based cybersecurity tools versus traditional tools? So first and foremost, AI-based cybersecurity tools, I would say they excel at detecting threats in real time because they're just faster than a person ever could be. And they can analyze vast amounts of data quickly, and they identify things like patterns and anomalies that might indicate a security threat. This is real-time analysis, and it helps in catching threats much faster than traditional tools leveraged by people. And this often is something that, the traditional tools, they rely on a predefined rule or a signature, and AI doesn't necessarily have to do that. AI tools, I'm finding, are more adaptive in nature. And the reason is the tools learn from each incident, and they're continuously improving their detection and response capabilities. So this means that they can adapt to new types of attacks and threats without needing constant manual updates, which I think is a pretty big limitation of some of the traditional tools. And I would say AI-based tools can significantly reduce the workload on IT staff. So again, we are not replacing people, we are augmenting people. And we're doing that by automating many of those routine tasks like monitoring and threat detection. And the tools help free up cybersecurity professionals to focus on more complex issues. And this can lead to better overall security management and a more efficient use of resources. However, AI-based tools really aren't without their disadvantages. I would say what I'm seeing right now is one major drawback is the cost of implementing AI-based solutions. It can be pretty expensive. It's the buzzword. Everybody is investing in this. Lots of organizations are adopting. So it's hot and it's expensive. And if you are building and leveraging this in your organization, you're going to quickly find just how expensive it is based on the people you're going to need, the processing you're going to need. It's definitely, I think, more than a lot of us were thinking. So this can require a significant investment, not just in technology, but also in training. Remember, I talked in a previous episode about that lack of trained cyber professionals. It's even worse when it comes to AI. So there's a complexity of integration. So AI tools, in order to be effective, they have to integrate into some of our existing systems. And this can be complex and time consuming. And it's not always like a co-pilot where it's just included and then pervasive across the stack. Some organizations are trying to build some things themselves, or they have data repositories that are not in the traditional places. So this is definitely that complexity I'm talking about. Another issue with AI-based tools is the potential for false positives as well as hallucinations. And while they're pretty good at detecting anomalies, I've seen where they can actually flag legitimate activities as threats. And that leads to not just unnecessary alerts, but disruptions. And I'd say this can cause alert fatigue among IT staff. We're trying to reduce that fatigue, but it's actually, in some cases, made it worse. And it's reduced their overall efficiency of security operations instead of enhancing. Now, I'd say the comparison and the traditional tools are generally more predictable, more stable, and that's because they rely on known threat signatures as well as rules. So I'd say they're often easier to manage and integrate into existing systems because that's what we've been doing forever. I would say, they still struggle with detecting some of these new sophisticated threats that don't match some of those existing patterns. And again, this is where AI has that distinct edge, as it can adapt and learn from new threats over time. So, choosing between AI based and traditional based tools, it's just going to depend on the organization. What's the specific need? What resources do you have? And I'd say for those that can afford the investment and need real time adaptive security, AI based tools are pretty great. But for organizations looking for stability and predictability, traditional tools might still be the best option. However, I would recommend a hybrid approach. Combine both AI-based and traditional tools and get the best of both worlds from each.